Get ready for Tuesdays with Tiffany Lewis. Tune in at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time to Be the Change. Only on Clear Source Radio, where we inspire people soul to soul. Only on Clear Source Radio.
Hi. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Be the Change. This is your host, Tiffany H. Lewis, the host with the mostest. And today, I have a very, very strong message for you. So this started a few days ago, and I actually made a 2-hour video of it, and this was going to be a 2-hour show, but I'm trimming it down to 1 hour. But for those of you that would like more information on this topic tonight, or the multiple topics that we will be covering tonight, I will be posting those links on social media, so you know the drill. Like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. Tiffany H. Lewis. And I'll post all the links to iHeart, which will be on iHeart Radio tomorrow, and hopefully up on YouTube tomorrow. Second to that is a video that is only visual, no audio. All right, you know me, I'm blunt. You ready? Here we go. All right, grab a seat. This is going to take a minute. Relax. I'm going to come right here at the very beginning. I'm going to come with a disclosure or a full disclaimer. This show is going to touch on a lot of topics that might make you uncomfortable, but you know what? In order to grow, you need to put yourself in situations to be uncomfortable. So, stay with me here, and let's get through this. I don't have much time with you. I'm going to cram a lot of information into you very quickly, which is why I said there's a second video for a reason. Actually, technically 2 more for a reason. It's an extended version of this trimmed down tonight's version. All right. Whatever you hear in the background, that is my tortoise. His name is Cash, and we recently found out he's a boy 5 years later. Anywho, all right. So let's start at the beginning. At the beginning of time, internet happened, right? At the time that internet happened, which was probably, I don't know, mid to late 90s, early 2000s, but I remember when it happened. And what we had available to us at that time was really cool things at the time called AOL. Computers ran on dial-up. Landline telephones were still attached to walls. And I don't even know if we had cell phones. Maybe like the first ever cell phones. And also, on top of it being dial-up, we've really only had access to a couple of things. But one of those things was called MySpace. Now, MySpace is probably still what I would consider a safe space back in that day. Not now, but back then. So AOL is just like your Yahoo today or your Google Chrome, anything, any kind of wherever you look for stuff, like Google, like a search. And also everyone had basically an AOL email. And then a few more popped up. And anyways, since I don't have much time with you, like I said, I'm literally about to bombard a bunch of information on you. My speech is going to speed up because I need to relay this message as much as I can in tonight's episode. All right. So we've got telephones sticking on the wall with buttons you actually have to call people on, okay? Because we didn't have things like that. But then MySpace happened. Alrighty. MySpace was considered a safe space. And MySpace, let me tell you what you did right that Facebook, or any other social media for that matter, has not ever leveled up to. You allowed us to choose a song, just like a boxer. I promise. When a boxer walks in a room, there's a song, a theme song. So what MySpace did was it created what we thought, or even like probably literally was, a safe environment. And not only that, but I enjoyed the fact that it challenged us. We had to have knowledge of things that we did not have prior knowledge of, such as a little bit of coding. Well, actually, quite a bit of coding. It was way more complicated than even building a website these days, which is not complicated, but back then, that was extremely complicated. And also, it was very much called MySpace because it was my space. MySpace was my space. This is me. This is who I am. This is what I like. Here is my theme song, story of my life. All right. Next up, somewhere after that, Facebook happens. Facebook happens because a guy named, well, according to history, a guy named Mark Zuckerberg opened up in his garage, apparently along with a few other teenagers or maybe early 20s in a garage, supposedly. That's the story that we're told. So Mark Zuckerberg opens Facebook. Now here is the kicker. The kicker is Mark created Facebook at a time in life where the devices that we have right now, such as cell phones, iPhones, and deep net, dark net, web, everything, all the stuff that we have now, we did not have then. So he had no, or so you think, he had no knowledge that those things had any reason to exist in the future. Now know this. He master planned and did a lot of research before launching Facebook, which is probably what led to his demise inevitably. However, while he was masterminding Facebook and these products did not literally exist at the time, had never even been heard of, such as Apple. Okay, so he masterminds this thing called Facebook, and what he does is they use people and they use algorithms, and they take our algorithms and you get to see a pattern. And if you don't know what an algorithm is, it's basically sort of like a pattern of trends, a little bit like the stock market. And now we all know what happens when the stock market crashes. So let's imagine Facebook did just the opposite. It exploded. It went viral fast, really, really fast. Other social media may or may not have followed its example, but either way, social media is now all considered one thing. It's all social media, LinkedIn, Twitter, all that, Facebook, everything. But back to Mark. He purposefully built Facebook using algorithms, watching us, studying human behavior. Yep. He probably had a PhD in that. I mean, maybe not by a college education at an Ivy League school, but there's no way he could have possibly known these devices would pop up 10 years later, 15 years later. So that says a lot about Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook. Facebook has been watching us longer than the phones we hold in our hands existed. So, back up to speed. Here we are today in this world. It's 2019. And that's how this all got started. And Facebook, by the way, was originally designed or advertised to design what we thought was a safe environment to connect with our family, friends, and even more specifically, I remember them, suggesting that it was a good way to keep in contact with your old classmates and learn about upcoming reunions, which at the time I found that comment strange because, again, these items that we have right now were not available then. So is he Nostradamus? Is he predicting the future? Or did he outsmart us? Well, when you name something Facebook, and you don't know that Apple is going to happen, or that people are going to be glued to their phone, and then all these new words start to develop, such as social media addiction, right? Screen time, right? Screens, yes, keyword. Okay, so you need to ask yourself, how or why did he name it Facebook, based off of whatever lack of or even intel of a future product being designed that you can hold in your hand and look at someone face to face. Facebook, like reading a book with your face. We did not even have like audio books at the time. We had CD players, maybe, that had an audio book on a CD, maybe. Fine. All right. So there's a little bit of history. I need to speed this up because, again, I don't have much time and I need to hit on a few key points. So that all said, Mark Zuckerberg created an environment that was smarter than we were. Not only that, but used us as subjects to analyze and then therefore create algorithms and determine, basically project how it would turn out without even knowing these devices would not even exist for many years later. All right. So, screens. Let's go there. A screen is the thing between you and I. A screen is what most people consider some sort of protection between who they are and who we see them as, or even based on the fact on how they represent themselves on said social media. So, most people that I personally know, that I've met off of Facebook, even high school friends, yeah, they are totally misrepresenting themselves. And that's their issue, not mine. Who I am has nothing to do with this. But everything that you see on my page is true, real, and uncensored. I am as blunt as they get, and this is about to get real heavy. So, Facebook blows up, Apple comes out, Samsung, your major brands start coming out. T-Mobile, AT&T, which were there the whole time, but back in the day it used to be Nextel. So life changes, and now we are sort of living in the future that he predicted would happen based off of his testing us as subjects, as human beings, and predicting things that were not even possible at the time. All right, so now we're going to move on to video games. Let me just take a real quick sip here. You guys know me, Moscato tonight. Video games. Video games happened, but video games happened a long, long time ago. So again, we're going to start at the beginning. Back in the day, at the beginning of time, video games were not the same video games that we have today. We had this thing called an Atari when I was growing up. Now, anyone listening that knows what that is, good on you. Anyone that doesn't, Google it. All right. After that came the original and first, I think it was NES. It was a Nintendo system. So you could play Super Mario Brothers 1, 2, 3, Legend of Zelda, a few others that I'm not going to name. But you get the point. So what you thought, or what we thought we were playing, was a silly video game, right? And unbeknownst to us at the time, that video game was also studying our habits and creating algorithms to create the future that is now. And what that's turned into is now we live in a world where there is a literal entire, what's the word I'm looking for? An entire, basically, generation of people now that are called gamers, who not only do they get paid to play video games, all right, so video games started charging money for extra perks. You want a pointer, charge your credit card $1. Credit cards obviously become everything. Chip gets installed in credit cards. It's all kind of intertwined. But those videos the video games back in my day weren't violent, or so we thought. Now, if you take a look at it now and compare it to the current video games, such as, I don't even know what they are called. I don't know, but they're mostly fantasy, and there's a lot of violence, and they are extremely graphic. Over the last few years, they have not only become extremely violent, but they make you proud of yourself for shooting and assassinating people for a score, for a challenge, for a prize, and you're paying for little keywords or secrets or cliff notes. Then they took it one step further, because that wasn't crazy enough. Then they went live. That's right. Gamers are live. So live is, hang on. Live is what happens when you take people who literally at this point in life actually pick a time and a day, and they come meet you on said video game, any one of the newest video games, okay, that have been, I don't know, Creed, I don't know, whatever they're called. So they go there and they play for a certain amount of time, and then they may buy things with money, or including, but not limited to, special gear, equipment, headphones, whatever. They may need to better play these games. And it's sad. I mean, the people that I'm referring to, the real true gamers, think that, gamer equals nerdy equals the cool kind of nerdy. Well, guys, that's not true. Most of your gamers are grown adults who still live with their mommy and daddy and are probably like age 50 or 18 or 25. However, you let your children play these games. You let them play a video game live with strangers. Live. Not having any idea what you've just done. Well, here's a piece of what you've just done. IP address. Ever heard of that? Algorithms. Yes, back to that. That is what determines how much farther we go, when, and why. So now we are at full capacity of basically nothing being off limits. Now that's going to bring me over here to the black market or the dark net, however you'd like to frame that. So I don't have time to go into the conversation about surface web versus deep web versus dark net, but the dark net is basically where you can hire a hitman literally to kill someone. Facebook Marketplace is where you can go do the same thing and probably not even have to pay anyone, honestly. So that's where those two things went. Video, clues, games, equipment, everything. It's everything to these people. These people are gamers. And now they literally go onto YouTube and create, and other social media, and create literal channels that actually monetize. And I know that for a fact because I have a page, well, I don't think it's a page, a channel on YouTube, right? And my channel on YouTube, while it may only have, even if it has only one, which I don't even think I have one follower, liker, subscriber, whatever, I don't care. But I'm not in it for the money. But I can tell you this, I have literally seen monetized off of somebody listening to one of my episodes. It wasn't much. It was $1.50. It was just a couple of months ago, if that. And I also got to see my algorithms. So back to MySpace for a minute. The one thing I forgot to mention is that MySpace, I really appreciated the fact that you challenged me to learn new things and get uncomfortable, because I'm really grateful that I had the chance to learn those things. It taught me a lot about coding and gave me some skills that people don't have anymore or any desire to have. All right. Facebook is corrupt. I'm about to expose it even more. And here we are with video games. They have become more and more and more and more graphic. So what happened is you have a screen between you and I, and you've got a gamer over here playing video games with these very expensive headphones and whatever they've wasted their either rich parents' money on or their own income on. I don't care how they paid for it, but they're paying for perks. So what happens when you take a bunch of people and you let them play live, but you don't know anything about them because they're hiding behind a username or a screen name? You don't even have to post a picture of yourself. I mean, if you saw that on Facebook, red flags would go up really fast. But in the gaming world, that's somehow okay, right? And since that's okay, people just kind of go along with it and nobody has the nerve to say anything. So you don't know if you're playing with an 8-year-old, a 52-year-old, a 23-year-old, a pedophile, a murderer. You have no clue because of the screen. There is a screen name. And those of you that actually are nerdy in the cool way that I am referring to, you're smart enough to hide your IP address. Vanish. There's your keyword of the night. Vanish. All right. So you know about IP and vanish. And you know full well that you are playing on the dark net or web, whatever you'd like to call that. And then they call that a web for a reason, y'all. But anyway. All right. Let me... Okay, so we're now playing live with a bunch of other people from all over the world at the exact same time. And what it does is it creates this environment where said person meets all of their little gamer friends at the same time, at the same place, on whatever game. And they play as a team from all over the world together with these screen names. No picture, no real information about them. And you don't even know who it is. But you form this friendship with these people or, allegiance to these people without even knowing who they actually are because they're hiding behind their screen name or username. And that said, I would like to further go into the fact that this is what has become of it because the video games have become extremely more graphic every single day over the last few years. So has everything else. Now, this is what some people call the dumbing down of society. So now, I'm really about to blow your mind. Everything you know about television, radio, everything you hear, everything you see, every game you play, every movie you watch, anything at all that you do, you're being watched too. Why? Because you live in a smart home. Everything's got a camera on it. You honestly think they're not watching us? Yeah. Facebook was created not knowing that a handheld device would have a forward-facing camera. Picture that. So, staying on topic, I said in the beginning I was going to be bouncing around a little bit because I have so much to say and I'm trying to cram it in there. So we have we didn't create. The gamers created a whole entire world of people, much like, back in the day when video games went from Mario Brothers to fantasy. Also, at that time, fantasy football was a thing. And if you don't know what those are, please Google them. I don't have time. But the fantasy, like Sim, for instance, or like an Avatar, for instance. Okay, so this is where you get to create your character. And you can still do that in video games today. This is, it's sort of its own version of reality. And you create, ironically, you get to create your own reality in every single video game as a player. Now, put a bunch of those people together with their clever little headphones, and I'm sorry if I keep saying this, but it's probably a bunch of perverted 50-year-old men. And there are girls that do this for a living too, for money, and that's fine. I don't care. I'm not judging. It's better than being a prostitute, so cool. All right. Now, what we have is a entire community of people all over the world playing with each other live on video games, shooting each other as a team that is an extremely aggressive, and then they're getting, that's right, dopamine hits. Every time you kill that person, you've got these 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 other people cheering you on. Get him, dude. Get him, dude. Get him. Kill him. Kill him. Kill him. Shoot him. And what happens is ego. Ego happens. It's like holding a gun in your hand, right? Ego happens. All of a sudden, you're holding this gun in your hand, and now you are invincible, or so you think. Video game gamers, true gamers, it's the same exact thing. Hang on one sec. So, what you have is 2019. There's a parallel. There's Facebook and other social media. I'm just using Facebook as it is the most predominant and best example to explain my point here. And then your gamer community who literally work as a team to assassinate people and waste their lives playing video games and even monetizing on it. Okay? But before you get upset about them monetizing on it or whatever, you need to understand that they have this now false sense of they are invincible, their little screen names protect them, they can hide behind their screen wall. And it started off slowly enough. It started with little things, little bitty things. And this is the parallel. Every time the video games became more graphic, I watched the algorithms change on Facebook to keep up with the same amount of graphic violence and violence. We have always been parallel. Those things. And also, this is why I brought up TV, radio, everything at the same time all became parallel to the same exact thing at the same exact speed. So there's the problem. All right. So it started off innocently enough, or so it would seem. And it started out in a manner of, well, let me give you an example that I remember that really bothered me. Not that long ago, guys all over the world, men, disgusting, like, oh my God, disgusting men, or just normal men, but either way, it was disgusting. Well, they started sending us these, I'm not going to say the word because this is a G-rated show, but let's just call it blank pics. You all know what I'm talking about. So they probably got the confidence to do that because they probably played a video game and heard a song or watched a movie, and over time, while that quote-unquote dumbing down of society was happening, and you are all led to believe that you only use 10% of your brains, well, here's your wake-up call. Where's the other 90, and why aren't you using it? Because watch this. Every song became more graphic and violent. Look up Eminem, 3 a.m. They're literally bragging about, killing people and bathing in the devil's blood and whatever. That's a whole other issue. But so the, the television and the radio and any kind of media, that's another parallel to gaming and to social media. So far we've got at least 3 parallels that are all running at the same time. Yet, they are also intertwining at the same time. So because you saw this here, it sort of desensitized it a little bit at a time, over time. Let's start with Brokeback Mountain. I don't remember how long ago that happened, but that movie was the first movie of its kind. And on the same token, Blair Witch was the first movie of its kind. That was the first movie where they did the shaky cam effect and make it seem really, really real and scary. And yeah, we really all were surprised to find out that the cast was alive. I mean, that was the first one of its kind. Now everybody does that, so that's the thing, But every single thing gets more and more graphic and more violent. And with violence and graphic and a bunch of people cheering you on, and you've invested money into this and all these, special gear, now you are cocky, right? You're cocky because you play a video game where you assassinate people with other people at the same time, live, while sitting probably at your mommy and daddy's house. Then you take that same concept and you bring it over here into Facebook world, where that has not happened yet, but you made it happen because you started slowly and in a very subtle manner suggesting, hinting. Let me tell you something about the power of suggestion. Power of persuasion. So one person does this, it becomes a trend. It is now known as a new word called viral. So as you might be beginning to wake up a little bit to where I'm going with this, I haven't even scratched the surface yet. So anyways, the word viral happened. So one person probably sent one person a blank word pic to their Facebook Messenger, and then everyone else started doing it too. And we as a human race, and we as a collective, we of all women, we were disgusted by it. Okay? And here's why. We don't want to see your body, guys. That is so disgusting. Why would you do that to anyone? Is that funny to you? I recently had a pastor do that, call me with his shirt off and a bottle of liquor on a video chat in Messenger. Why? Because we have evolved to the point where you can just push a button and call anybody in the whole wide world face to face on Messenger. Phone numbers don't mean much these days. It's all VoIP, VoIP, voice over internet phone. I may be wrong on what the P stands for, but I promise I'm not wrong about what VoIP is. So today you don't need many coding skills to create a Facebook page. And on a Facebook page, I am willing to bet you at least 80% of all of us have more than one Facebook page. Why? Because each page has its own presence. This is what I call internet presence. So in order for one to become viral or internet famous or YouTube famous, which again, these are all words that we've made up and created because of all these patterns just in the last few years. And they're going to continue to evolve. And we'll get to that in a minute. But, we have allowed this to happen. And here we go. I'm about to get heavy. Here's what we allowed. Imagine this. Imagine, and I remember the literal day that this happened. Okay, this is after those inappropriate pics started being sent to our Facebook Messenger, and complete random strangers felt that they were allowed to call us on Messenger and had the right to send those pictures. So where did they get that thought from? Well, I could say power of suggestion. I could say the power of persuasion by use of subliminal messages. So back in my day, how we did subliminal messages was literally turn the pager upside down and push numbers that spelled silly words. It was funny to it. It's actually still kind of funny, but whatever. And then now we have been exposed to more and more and more and more and more. So Brokeback Mountain, like I went there for a minute, it exposed us to sexuality. Sexuality led to sexuality equality. Sexuality equality led to a whole new group of what is now called LBGTQ gay. I didn't mean to say the word gay. I meant LBGTQ and then whatever the rest of the letters are. Please forgive me. I promise I did not mean to say gay. I was just trying to put the letters out there. That said, this community forms and people unite and they come together, and now we are all extremely careful and cautious and loving, and or not. I mean, you're either one way or the other. You either are on board with it and you're cool with it, or you're not. So whatever, to each their own. Same thing with gamers. You either are a gamer or you are not. And what it's done here is it's divided us as a communal, I guess, online world. But that online world was allowed to become real. Seriously. We allowed the pics to be a thing. Why didn't anybody stop it? We allow people to play these graphic video games and high five their buddies for killing people. And then you wonder why we have, one school shooting every 3 minutes at this point in life? Let's go there about suicide for a minute. We have a bunch of people who all of a sudden grew a pair, if you know what I mean, based on the fact that whether it was a game or Facebook in general, it was internet. Internet created an entire world where, just like one of the sim or the fantasy games, which ironically again is parallel to real life, but that's too deep, so I'm not going to go there. So we have created a world, internet land world, where you can be whoever you want to be. You can be 8 years old on this profile, you can be 52 years old on that profile, whatever. It doesn't matter. Nobody can be trusted. I mean, people don't admit who they are. I mean, why would you do that? However, the same sick people have the nerve to send these disgusting pictures that we did not ask for. And you know, this group of people, they are called trolls. That's right, trolls. So let's go there for a second. And man, I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to have to start talking very fast because I am already 36 minutes in, which gives me about 24 left with you. So I have a lot to say in the next 20 minutes. All right, trolling. A troll is someone who goes in, doesn't know you from anywhere, and decides to ruin your day because they have no life, they are bored, maybe they're playing video games. I don't care who or what or when or where or how, but they don't know you, and they go on something that you posted somewhere on social media at any point over anything, and it's may have started out with opinionated arguments about, you know, political views or religion. I'm not even touching that. I'm saying after these inappropriate pics were sent, people allowed it. Nobody stopped it. You watched it happen. You didn't say anything. You're part of the problem. First off, even though we didn't know how to fix it at the time, but I'm about to show you how and why it stopped, because it has since stopped. And here's why. So, one sec. Back to the one day, I remember the exact minute that it happened. And in advance, I'm going to warn you. What I am about to say is a direct quote. Please take it as it is. Don't look into it or assume that I'm saying something. I'm going to quote to you. All right. A post happened. I don't even remember who sent it or where it started. But just like the inappropriate pics, all it took was one person, and then it turned into a thing and it became viral, right? So let's add that thing. That thing is called body shaming now. Yep, there's an actual word created, body shaming. Maybe that was a word before, but it wasn't a trendy word before. Neither was viral, and neither was any of the other words that have come since we have created these algorithms and patterns that are now our daily life, because everybody thinks they are safe hiding behind their little screen with their 10 fake profiles being creeps. And I'm not even going to go there about children. Let's stick here for a minute. So body shaming. I remember the exact moment when somebody posted a post and it said, and I quote, and do not get mad at me for this. I'm quoting it. Please, please, please. Please don't get mad. I don't want to say this, but I need to. It said something to the effect of, big, thick girls need loving too. I remember the post, and it had a picture of a girl, and basically, actually, I believe it was a Victoria's Secret model that may have even started this trend. And because I do remember then, after, not long after seeing that post, that Victoria's Secret had another line of angels, and they were all thicker and bigger than, a skinny person. So skinny became a bad thing, and anyone skinny was considered to be anorexic. And all of a sudden, everyone who was just a little bit more, had more weight or even overweight, and I will go very far. I will extremely tell you right now, very far. There are people who literally get paid and people buy them food and watch them eat it for pleasure, for money. Fact. Like 300, 400, 500-pound people who just lay there eating the food you just bought them, and you're paying them to get to watch them eat it. It's crazy. But that's not it all. What it is that trolls exist now. We live in a world where a fake reality has somehow intertwined with the real world. And now that is the reality that we live in. So body shaming became a thing. All of a sudden, all of our husbands started cheating on us. Okay? This is true. And this also happened when gaming became a thing. When it happened, all of our husbands started spending all of their time gaming. This was even before it went live or you could play with friends. Now, when this body shaming post, probably about a year or two, maybe 2 years ago, happens, everybody started to overusing the word body shaming. And what happened was it created, again, another entire community or large group of people all over the entire world who have now been told 1,000 times over that not only is it not okay for us to body shame, but also you are beautiful, girl, and go ahead and show your body. Oh, man. So all these people start posting pictures of, yep, you guessed it, in their bikinis, right? So I am not making fun of weight. You will see my point in a minute, and you will find it funny after you understand why I'm actually laughing. I'm laughing at the stupidity that everyone seems to have overlooked. So what happened? Video games turned into reality, which gives everyone the balls to actually start doing those things to people on the internet. The messages became stronger. Go kill yourself. Go ahead and kill yourself. Why don't you just go kill yourself? Then people actually started to kill themselves, and then people actually started sending me those videos of these children literally killing themselves on Facebook Live. And then I started a nonprofit over it, but this is not about me. Next up, we've got body shaming. Somebody decided one day to make a post about, thick girls need loving too, and it created a viral effect, and now everybody in the whole wide world is not allowed to body shame, and everyone in the world who's a little bit overweight or just whatever, they are in their bikinis. And not just on Facebook are they showing their body, but in person. I mean, when I go downtown, I don't even go downtown, but when I do, people aren't wearing anything. And no offense, but it's just like those inappropriate pics. Why are you forcing me to see something I don't want to see? Okay? Now, if someone is paying you to do that, that's your prerogative. I don't care. Again, better than prostitution. However, that said, I am being forcefully subjected to things I do not want any part of, because they are shoved on us. And this is not just about inappropriate pics, or body shaming or any one thing in particular. It is a combination of all of these things that we are forced to watch, see, hear. It's displaying subliminal messages. Pedophiles are coming to the surface. Sex trafficking is finally getting some attention. And what happened was, do you want to know why those guys stopped sending all of us those inappropriate pictures? Because they outsmarted you. They made a post that said, thick girls need loving too. And what did you do? That's right. Y'all all got that same ego that all those gamers got. A false sense of what is now your reality, based on the power of suggestion or the power of persuasion or just a statement that happened to go viral. So everywhere you look, you're going to see a little bit of overweight girls in now bikinis. So what happened to those inappropriate pics that men used to send us? Well, guess what? You just gave it to them. You're worse than them. You literally just handed them what we considered to be the problem, and all were and still are disgusted by these inappropriate pics that nasty men would send us. And you literally just handed the problem and the solution to them on a silver freaking platter. Now you're showing your actual body in a bikini or less. What is wrong with y'all? Wake up. You still have 90% left of your brain to use. And whoever said that we only use 10% of their brain clearly only used 10% of theirs. But that's not us. So wake up. Because what you just did, you said, oh no, it's not okay for you to send me these inappropriate pics, but hey, big girls need loving too. So big girls start sending all these pictures and getting all over the internet and start wearing this crap in public. And then the men all of a sudden, magically stop sending the inappropriate pics? Pay attention. Stay with me here for a minute, because it's about to get way deeper. So there's that. And women, you do not need to show your body to be proud of it. I don't care what anyone says. If you're beautiful on the inside, not on the outside. It doesn't matter. It doesn't work that way. Anybody real or me, I'm blunt. I'll just tell you that to your face. And that's the other thing, the difference between like myself and others. Others hide behind a screen. I am exactly who I am. I say who I am. I do what I do. And that's it. There are no questions. There is no gray area. There's nothing that isn't, if you just ask me the right question, I'd tell you the truth on anything. But, all right, I need to really start talking faster here because I'm about to bring this to its peak. All right, so then bullying, cyberbullying, another few new words, became a humongous problem. Right after the girls started posting the pictures of their bodies with little to no clothes on, literally giving the creeps exactly what they wanted because they just reverse psychology on you. Seriously, y'all? Why do you not see that? Now that you know that, why are you giving it to them? All right, we're going to come back to that. So, moving along, now we have children being sex trafficked all over the world, and that's not something I'm going to go into today with you. But what we also have is a generation of people my age, your age, and any age with the ability to have at least a real profile and however many fake profiles that they want. So much like that gaming life, you never know. You can't trust anybody, and you don't know that just because that's a picture that's actually a picture of them. Of course they're going to come across as a girl because girls are easier to kidnap other girls because girls trust girls. Well, girls, stop trusting people. Girls are going around showing their body to literally create the solution to get the men to stop sending the inappropriate pics. Hello? All right, so suicide starts happening. And it starts happening because you guys start trolling. And I don't just mean guys, I mean anybody in general starts trolling. And again, this is where you go onto a Let me just give you an example. The other day, I posted a cup, a literal cup. Nothing opinionated, nothing special about it. On the Facebook Marketplace, which is now, like I have said a couple times, it is literally the equivalent of the black market. Watch. Wait and watch. All right, so I put a cup up for sale for like $4 on the Facebook Marketplace, and I get trolled on. So some guy decides to come on and start talking smack to me. Not only that, he's laughing at me, he's threatening me, he's harassing me, and then he invites all of his friends to do the same. I'm serious, and tags them in this to the point where I think even the most sane person would at least consider suicide when they're literally saying to you that the world would be better off without you. Why don't you just go and kill yourself? Okay, and that's me, and I'm 40 years old, and it hit me that hard. Can you imagine your children being told that? How's that feel? What happens? We live in a world where everybody's got a video camera, and everybody is watching this crap happen, and nobody is doing anything. Get up! Wake up! Do you see the problem yet? The suicides are happening because these morons are going around trolling on people, and you have had 1,000, a million opportunities to stand up for someone or say, hey buddy, you didn't need to tag me in that. I don't support your views on being a troll to whoever. And you don't need to invite your friends. And friend, if you're a true friend, why on earth are you supporting that? Now I hate you both. But whatever, or whoever is involved. Now, realize you're probably doing this to a child, and the trolls are, I can almost guarantee you, fake profiles or hacked profiles, anywho. But that's not the point. The point is, you, every single one of you listening to my raised voice right now, you are part of the problem. Because you know that trolling exists. You see it, you watch it. You have two choices. A, you can stand up for the person. I don't know, report, block. Any of that sounding familiar yet? Or you can keep scrolling past it and allowing it to keep happening. At the same time, trolls. You have two options. You could literally just keep scrolling along and mind your own business and stay in your own lane. But no, you have to come over here on a $4 cup posted on the marketplace and literally make me have the worst day of my entire freaking life and actually contemplate suicide. And when you do that to children and then you literally send me the video where you trolled the person, told the child to go kill himself, and then literally sent me the video the next day, every day, y'all don't even know. This is real. Every day, y'all have no freaking clue what's really going on here. What's happening is we live in a world where you're not standing up. You are not saying anything. You are not rising up. How much more is enough? When is enough enough? How many people need to die? How many of our kids need to kill themselves? Are you with me yet? Do I have your attention yet? You're the problem, too. The only solution is to stop allowing it to happen. Yes. So here is me right now in life on a whole new mission to make that crap stop. Those videos are going to get continually sent to me every day for the rest of my life, probably simply because I have a nonprofit that began as suicide prevention, okay? And that's fine. I accept that. I don't really care. But you don't need to see that. And your children, no. You need to wake up. You need to understand. And also, while I'm right there, I hope that you have hacked your child's phone by now, based on the last 2 episodes alone, if not this one, too. Because you don't even know your own child. And you know what? you don't even know your own friends, because all of your friends on Facebook that you think are your friends that you've never met in person are probably the exact people who are over here trolling your children, bullying them, telling them to go kill themselves, and yes, literally sending me the video of the actual live death while it's happening and I can't do anything about it, or the day after and they're already dead. I'm tired of burying kids. I'm tired of going to funerals. So, if you support trolls after listening to this show tonight, unfriend me. Because if you don't, I will just shut down Facebook altogether. I've already come very close a few times. And trolls, why don't you just scroll along? I don't know. Get a life. Get a job. What is wrong with you? Do you have no life? Do you have all the time in the world to just sit there and pick on innocent people who probably are children? But this is not an age thing. I just admitted to you that at 40 years old, I was trolled upon the other day, and it hit me like a ton of bricks to where I actually contemplated suicide. Why? Because the power of suggestion of somebody keep telling you to go kill yourself. Think about it. No, there is no age that is safe. Every troll is playing you. Don't you see we're giving them what they want? They tell you to go kill yourself and then you do. And then they laugh at you and post it publicly on Facebook and send me the actual literal video. Wake up! I'm sorry I'm yelling, but I'm about to do it again. Wake up! Do I have your attention yet? You need to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. You better stand up for somebody if you see somebody trolling. And trolls, I have no sympathy for what's about to happen because I finally just exposed you. And I will later expose Mark Zuckerberg on Facebook and all that, but that's probably going to be in that 2-hour video I am talking about. I am running out of time. I am literally like on my last minute, I do believe. And you know what? Wake up. Every problem, the problem is the children are killing themselves, and people our own age, any age, no ages. It doesn't matter. It's not an age thing. It's not a race thing. It's not anything. It's just a thing. Someone tells you to go kill yourself enough times. It's just like somebody calling you something enough times and then you start to believe it. Or for instance, maybe they say that you can't body shame and then all of a sudden you do what? You start showing pictures of yourself in a bikini. Hello? Where are you? Why are you doing this? Pay attention, people. You are handing the craziest, creepiest sociopaths exactly what they want on a silver platter delivered by hand from you. And maybe you're even paying to do that. That's it. I'm out of time. I'm going to post links. I want you to hear the rest of this, what I've got to say about this, because I have a lot more to say. But tonight I only have 1 hour with you. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sorry to have to cut the show off. We are literally out of time, and my last words to you are this. You are the one in control of your life. You and you alone can control exactly everything in your life to some extent. But more so, and moreover, you can make the trolls stop by standing up to them. Have you not seen enough deaths and suicides of children yet? Then what is wrong with you? You have had a million chances. Well, now you know this. And if you don't take that chance and you don't stand up to said person, report, block, whatever, blast, whatever, I don't care how you go about it. But you need to create this movement, and which actually I just created, so join me. Join my movement. No more trolls. No more giving people what they want, simply because they suggested it. Wake up, you're being played. All right, y'all, I gotta go. I love you. I'm sorry. Good Lord, have a good day. And thank you so much for tuning in. This is Tiffany H. Lewis with Be the Change, and I am out. Have a good night.
Are you ready to be inspired? Are you ready to make positive changes in your life? Tune in to Be the Change, live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, featuring our heartwarming radio host, Tiffany Lewis. She's an empath, an indigo, and has a new and uplifting message for you. Every week, Tiffany can be heard only on Clear Source Radio, where people inspire people, from our soul to yours. You can get the free app today at clearsourceradio.com. Visit Tiffany H. Lewis on Facebook for even more daily inspiration.